So the press conferences are over, and all that's left is the singing and, of course, the playing of Super Bowl 44. The Who, Roger Daltrey and Pete Townsend, and we are honored and thrilled to have those two gentlemen right here on NFL Network Live. A pleasure.
It's an honor to be here.
Thank you very much, Roger. Pete, thanks so much. It's a real honor and a pleasure to have you on here. Where does this stage rank, the Super Bowl stage rank, in your illustrious rock and roll careers?
It's extreme, to say the least. It's the biggest stage I've ever seen in my life. It's amazing.
The quickest, too.
And the quickest. And it's truly amazing how you do this. I mean, I'm completely stunned by the amount of organisation to put a show on in the middle of a football pitch. You know, and you've got sort of 20 minutes to do it, get off and get the match started. It's ridiculous. And they're doing it, and it works. What you should have done, you see,
what should we have done?
You should have sent the roadies to war. You should have sent your roadies to war, and then all the mess would be cleared up by now.
And then
leave the army at home.
I got you. And 12 minutes. How do you create the energy that you normally create in an entire concert in just 12 minutes, Pete?
Well, I'm playing live, and that's kind of, I don't know what happens to me. I'm a kind of mild-mannered man, and what actually happens when I get on the stage with the guitar is something happens, something triggers, I get an adrenaline rush, and I can pretty much rely on it. It's like turning on a switch. So, the experience that we had at the 9/11 concert that we did way back now was that we had a short stretch, and I remember saying to Rog then, we've got to go on, and we've immediately got to be on fire. And what happened on that occasion was that the audience were the ones that suddenly just... And we're relying to some extent on hearing a big roar.
Well, I think you will. I think if you're the energy, you definitely will be able to feed off the Super Bowl energy for sure.
To some extent, it is reflected.
Well, a lot of football players have the same mentality when they get out on the field. They're the most mild-mannered people. Most NFL football players take a nap before a big game. True story. And then the lights. Do you take a nap?
Yeah.
You take a nap before a concert too?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you can go out there and play the Super Bowl and hit somebody, because it sounds like you've got a football player's mentality, Pete, right there. And you go out there and you
Not
do
the body
your thing.
work, unfortunately.
Well, right. How many guitars have you destroyed in your career?
I've got no idea.
Can you put a number on it?
No, I stopped counting. Probably far less than you'd imagine. In the early days when I used to do a lot, I used to rebuild them. So
we couldn't afford to break that many, so we used to glue them.
Roger's a very
again.
practical man, and when we were kids, we couldn't afford expensive guitars, so Roger used to make them, and he taught me how to repair wood and repair guitars and make guitars. And so right the way through the early 60s, I must have repaired as many guitars as I broke, if not more.
Were you like, oh, there goes Pete again, we're going to have to fix another guitar? Is that what I was like?
My heart.
But back in the day. Do you have the set list already? Do you got that all already?
We've got it kind of sorted, yeah.
How
not
much?
Giving it away.
You're not?
No.
Okay, well, I wouldn't ask you then. But
I wouldn't either.
But I mean, do you guys, right before you go on, might think, let's change it up or anything like that?
No. It's very difficult. It's been very difficult to do this because, most of our songs are at least 6 minutes long.
Right.
And we want to do more than one or two songs. Mm-hmm. So we've done a kind of medley, but it works. It works as a cohesive piece of music.
How do you choose? I mean, how do you possibly choose amongst all your hits to figure out?
Roger actually put the medley of tracks or the selection of tracks together, but I think we got a message from various people in the NFL and the music that they'd like to hear, and that's what we reflected. There was some pressure from CBS that we only play songs that were associated with CSI, and I, of course, was kind of, let's do that.
CSI Miami. Do you know how many people have got reached by your music just from that one?
Well, this is interesting. I was once...
That show's amazing.
Do you put your sunglasses on just like David Caruso? You could put them on and give me the line. No, you stop there. You just give them the music and not the sunglasses. Pretty much what you're saying. But yeah, I mean, you must hear that all the time from people. Certainly here in Miami, I imagine.
What was strange was that I was at a small filming session that my partner Rachel was doing with Jerry Hall, and there was a guy from the Ukraine who was a polo handler, a horse handler. He said, "I very much like your 3 songs." Mm-hmm. And I said, "You're a Who fan, are you?" He said, "No, I am definitely not Who fan. I very much like your 3 songs."
So I'm trying to gather. It sounds like maybe Commissioner Roger Goodell's iPod has all his favorite Who songs, and that's the medley that you've just basically come up with.
We did get some requests, but I think Roger's put together something that actually also has a sense of, bridging the... There's stuff that goes back to Tommy and right the way up to the more recent years. A lot of our stuff has become endemically classic, and it doesn't really belong to us anymore anyway. So it's whatever it means to them out there is important. But there's about 5 pieces in all, aren't there?
I think it's 5.
Five pieces.
Songs, yeah.
Do you have a favorite, Roger?
Well, of all the...
Yeah, of everything. Of
Behind
your
Blue
entire...
Eyes would be my... If I had to choose one, I would choose that.
How about you?
Love Rain on Me, which is the closing song of Quadrophenia.
Good stuff. It's such an honor to have you guys on here on this program. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having us.
You bet. You bet. And I can't wait for your 12 minutes. You bet. Roger Daltrey, Pete Townsend,
Nice to see you.
The Who, right here on NFL Network.